Hey there folks, John here from Biddy Kong's Quest, and I have not been great about making videos regularly in the past, so I'm trying to do a little better at that, even if it's just simple stuff like this. Work's been a little crazy the last couple weeks, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video, and I am sitting in my office at work. So a lot of people have probably put up videos about this today as well, but over lunch I went and picked up my order of the Mario 35 Game&Watch. So I figured I would just do a little impromptu unboxing here, talk about it a little bit. It's pretty cool. I'm sure you've seen this on other channels, but this has this insert here that has like basically the Super Mario overlay on it, and it just kind of goes over it just like this. It's a little sleeve. This did have a couple of, like, I'll get it back in the box here. This did have a couple of little, like, what are they? Sticker tabs on here that I went ahead and removed, and I threw them away already. Best Buy also had this massive, like, tag on the front that I had to peel off as well. Anytime you've got stickers on something like this, it's not a huge deal because it was even on the box, and you can see the side is just fine. Anytime you've got stickers on something like this, make sure that you just go slow. And the closer the sticker comes to coming off, the faster it's gonna rip. And then so whenever you move really fast with a sticker and you try to take it off really quickly, that's usually when you end up ripping your box, or ripping at least the color off of it or something like that. So we got it off safely, so that's good. I went ahead and left the little tabby thing up here, just for a collector's value. I feel like that's probably a good thing to do, so I'm going to try to play with that as little as possible, especially since it's just the display thing. But you guys know I don't buy things just to keep them on shelves. I buy them to play them and to mess with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox this. Now I'm going to try to get this open without bending anything, getting that little crease. You know the crease. You've all gotten the crease before. And look at that. It worked. This is a pretty cool box. I do love, obviously the box art on the back is cool. But it's those little details that make something that's Nintendo and make it cool, right? So when you pull out the box, this little flap that you're probably never going to look at has a little Mario. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. My camera will focus on it. It has a little Mario and a little Luigi in the ball form from like the Game&Watch. And by the way, this thing includes 3 games. It includes Mario Brothers, Lost Levels, or Mario Brothers 2 in Japan, and Ball, which was the very first Game&Watch game. And so that's what's on here, and so that's a little homage to that, which is pretty awesome. Pretty cool, I think. So I'm gonna open this up, pull this out. And I hear this doesn't come with a charger, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, this box is super thin. I don't see why it would. We get a little bitty, teeny tiny USB cable. This might be like the smallest USB cable I've ever gotten with a system of any kind. So I'm actually going to just take this off. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Look, it is that big. My hand, right? My hand is this big. That's my hand. It's not even as long as like 2 of my hands. Like, it's super, super, super short. This would be really annoying to charge with, actually, unless you just plugged it into a computer or something, I guess. Maybe it would work then. But anyway, so there's that. And then we've got the Game&Watch itself in here. And do this so you guys can see it. It's got a little tab here, which is nice. You just pull it out. And before we get into the Game&Watch, let's look at what stuff it came with. Nothing ever comes with a manual anymore, so let's see what they packed in. And they actually did. They packed in a little. It's one of those little fold-out manuals. It's not like a true manual. Something that's like a collector's item like this, you kind of hope that they would, you know, do like a real manual. But it's probably a little too much to ask in 2020. So, anyway, so we've got this little fold-out thing. It's not so much a manual as it is a bunch of how to turn it on, and then warnings of not to eat it or something, I guess. So that's that. We'll put that over there. We're gonna go and put our box over here too, and then so we can figure out how to get this thing out of here, because that doesn't come up, I don't think. Oh yeah, it does. So that just lifts up just like that, and then it should just slide right out. It should just slide right out. There we go. And you got this little foam packaging, which is cool. And then there it is. So here it is. This is the Game&Watch. Now this thing is like incredibly light. This feels like a toy. If you've ever actually had one of the original Game&Watches, or you've ever seen one, they feel really light. Like they're super, super light. And that's kind of how this feels too. It doesn't feel cheap though, because I think it's easy to confuse, or not confuse, but equate something being light and you know, with being cheap and cheaply made. It doesn't really feel cheap. It doesn't feel like you know, plastic from like a Chinese handheld or something that's you know, like 3D printed or whatever. It feels like it's injection molded. It feels like it's nice and it's sleek. I'm loving this metal. That's real metal. That plate right there. And then you've got your D-pad here. D-pad feels pretty good. And then your A and B buttons. Cool thing about the A and B buttons, and this is real attention to detail right here, the original Game & Watch A and B buttons were made of rubber. They weren't made of plastic, and these are also made of rubber. So if you get really, really sweaty while playing the Lost Levels, your finger won't slip off the keyboard. Or not keyboard, buttons. It's not a keyboard, it's a game console. Game consoles don't have keyboards. And then we've got 3 different buttons up here. You've got game, I'm assuming that's how you select the game. Time, I'm assuming that's how you go to the time. And then pause or set, and I'm assuming that's just set means settings. And then you got your little USB port over here, your power button, and then whatever this hole is over here. I'm assuming that's the speaker or something. And then it just says Super Mario Brothers, and that's it, Nintendo. And that's kind of it. So that's the outside. Let's go and turn it on and see what happens. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. I mean, my camera makes it look awful, but this LCD screen looks amazing. And look at that. Press a button, and then it's also got the little time thing blinking there. So if I press a button, I pressed a button. Nothing happened. Oh, press the time button. See, I can't read, apparently. Press the time button. So let's press the time button and see what happens. Oh! And it is apparently 12 noon. I'll set the time later. We're not going to do that right now. But Mario's sitting there jumping around with the Goombas and stuff. It's supposed to have all kinds of other stuff you can do with the time. So, oh, I just made the blocks flash by pressing A and B at the same time. So that's cool. If I do down and B, does it do anything? I don't know if you can hear that. There's a little like Nintendo NES chip beep whenever there's a new second. So that's cool. Anyway, so that's the clock. That's not really what we're here for. But hey, there's supposed to be lots of hidden interactions in here. Again, this is just an unboxing. It's not a review. So I'm not going to go through every single one of them. But let's go ahead and hit game and see. And it looks like it pops up right there with Mario Brothers, Mario 2, and Ball. Let's look at Ball real quick, since I'm assuming you guys are familiar with the rest of them. So Game&Watch, Ball, Game A or Game B? We're going to go with Game A. Oh, and look, Mario's on the ball thing, and I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. Oop, okay, there we go. We got it. I'm playing this on backwards on my camera, and I'm actually doing okay right now. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of I think there was a ball minigame on the Game Boy camera, actually. And that's what this reminds me of. There you go. So this is Ball. And so it eventually just keeps going faster, faster, faster. And then until you fail. And let's see what happens when you fail. Ow, no! Something happened. Oh, it actually says crush right there. I mean, that's attention to detail. The ball crushes the ground or something. So that's that. Let's go and go to Super Mario Brothers. We're gonna do Super Mario Brothers 2. You got that gnarly ground that's not made out of bricks. It's made out of like crushed rocks, so you know it's gonna be harder. We're gonna do the Mario game, and World 1-1. So I'm gonna be horrible at this because I'm doing it backwards. Also, I'm not very good at Mario to begin with. I will say, the D-pad is very responsive. It feels really good. Works for turnbacks just fine. Oh no. Ooh, that was almost bad. Ah! And that's what happens in Mario 2, The Lost Levels. So there you go. So there's Mario. And that's about it. And so if I hit pause, I can pause it. Looks like I can do brightness and volume right here. Oh, that was weird. What was that? So I do that right there. Oh, I'm pressing left and right. Sometimes you can. It looks like the D-pad gets a little confused, and it goes up or down. That's weird. It's kind of disappointing a little bit. But that just means that I assume it's probably because the construction of this is so thin. There's a little peg down in the center. You see if you ever look in an NES controller, there's a little circle in the middle. That's actually a divot because underneath of it, the plastic goes down, and there's a little peg that this sits on top of. And so that's what allows it to just go up, down, left, right, and be pressed down without the whole center going down. And so what happens is if that's too shallow, then you end up registering inputs from directions that you don't actually press. So I might press left, but it actually might go down or whatever, which of course it's not doing. There it goes. So I'm pressing left, but it's still going down. So that's probably what it is. The D-pad thing is too shallow, and I assume that's probably something they had to do because this is a collector's item, right? This isn't for like hardcore gamers. And it's $50. It's definitely overpriced, but it was something that I wanted just because I love the Game & Watches and I love the aesthetic and everything. So it was worth it to me. But it's something where it was either improve the functionality of it probably, or it was adhere to the original aesthetic of the device and be true to what it was supposed to be emulating. And I think that's with a product like this, it's important to distinguish. Sometimes you're not going to get exactly the performance that you might get out of something modern if they're adhering to the original design principles like really, really, really closely. And I think that's probably what this is. I think it's probably this is just too thin, so that peg like physically can't be any longer and still fit everything in there. So that's probably what's causing that. I'm not really too bothered by it. It's got Mario on it. Mario is not really going to ever use the down button anyway. That's right. So that's super not a huge deal. So if I go to game, or I'll go to the time again, and there you go. The Mario 35th Anniversary Game & Watch. These things are going for like $100 on eBay right now. Do not pay $100 for this thing, or $100 either. But don't pay $100 for this thing. I imagine this, by the way, there were like stacks of these at my Best Buy. And I'm sure that scalpers are going to, there's probably none left. Their scalpers probably bought them up and they're putting them on eBay for $100. But this guy is probably going to be like the Super NES Classic was. Not the NES Classic, that was obviously in short supply. The Super NES Classic was available for a short amount of time. It was really hard to get it first. And then a couple months into it, you could really kind of walk into a store and get lucky and find one. And then about 6 months into it, you could find them wherever you wanted. So by the end of the time they started making them, or stopped making them, which again, it was a limited run, just like this is. Pretty much everybody that wanted one was able to get one. So don't feel like you missed out if you didn't get one. I'm sure, having, in my experience, and I could be wrong, but in my experience collecting and buying things like this is the kind of thing I'm pretty sure that everybody that actually wants it is going to be able to get it without having to pay scalper prices. So don't go out. Don't panic if you didn't get one today. I bet there'll be several more waves of these released before Christmas. And, I can eat my words, obviously, if I'm wrong. But that's my gut on this. So don't go pay a scalper. Because, it's probably not worth $50. The $50 that's the MSRP. Unless you're like me and you just really have nostalgia for the Game & Watch. So anyway, so that's about it for this one. Really happy with this. I think this is really cool, and I really love how authentic and accurate it is to the real thing. I think that's really, really awesome. People online are complaining that there's no kickstand, so you can't use it as a clock. I agree. I think that's annoying, but you could also use something like this, which I have right here, like a business card holder or something like that, which kind of ruins the aesthetic of it a little bit. Oops, something like that. But if you get a clear one, and maybe one that doesn't have quite as tall of one of these things, it would make a really nice stand for it. So you can find a solution to anything if you try hard enough. But so that's my quick unboxing and my thoughts on the Super Mario 35 Game & Watch, and it's super fun. It's actually pretty glad I picked it up. And I'm happy with my purchase. So hopefully that helps you decide whether maybe you want one or not. And if you got one, hopefully you like it too. But that's about it for me. So like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys next time.